so that you can watch it later. Um, if you have any questions that you would like to ask during the presentation, there is a chat box down in the bottom right-hand corner. Please feel free to send those messages into me, and I will try and answer those at the end of the presentation. And I know a lot of you have submitted some questions on the registration form, so I will try to answer those throughout the presentation as well. But again, if you happen to step away, don't feel like you need to hurry back. I will send a recording and you can watch it later at your convenience. So we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us this morning. I know everybody's probably very busy with Christmas just right around the corner, but we'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to Brekke Tours, as well as our tours and services being offered in 2020. We'll journey throughout Scandinavia today via pictures from all the Scandinavian countries. My name is Amanda Hancock, and on behalf of Brekke Tours, we look forward to introducing you to our own favorite corner of the world, Scandinavia. And before we get started, I would like to present you with a special offer as a way of showing our appreciation for joining us today. From now until Friday, January 3rd, you can save $100 per person on our 2020 feature tours when you use promo code WEB20 on your tour application form. And don't worry, you don't have to write this down or anything. I'll include this in my email to you after the live presentation, so you don't have to worry about remembering it. Now, for those of you that are wondering about our connection to Scandinavia, Brekke Tours was founded in 1956 when Arne Brekke, a student from Norway, worked his way through graduate school in America by conducting summer tours in Europe. We are a family-owned company located in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and we offer a wide variety of products and services such as our own escorted tours, independent travel packages, customized tours for individuals, families, and groups, heritage travel, and cruises. Our goal here at Brekke Tours is simply to strengthen the cultural and ethnic ties between North America and Scandinavia by creating meaningful travel experiences. And why do people want to visit Scandinavia? Well, everybody has their own personal reasons, but I've summed up a few here. And first is the natural beauty and phenomena. So you'll see glaciers, fjords, mountains, forests, the midnight sun if you travel during the summer, the northern lights in the winter, and all of these can be found in Scandinavia. Scandinavia has a truly rich history filled with Vikings, kings and queens, wars, great wealth, hardships, and so much more. And the culture of the Scandinavian countries are uniquely distinct to each, yet at the same time they can be quite similar. Nature, family, education, and hard work are all highly valued by the folks living in Scandinavia. And most Scandinavians speak very good English, which makes it an easy place to get around on your own. And speaking of which, public transportation in Scandinavia is very good. With buses, trains, and low-cost flights to choose from, it's easy to get from point A to point B. And of course, the food. You have fresh seafood, freshly baked bread, and fresh fruit are all commonly found. And finally, Scandinavia is a relatively safe destination. In fact, you may see babies sleeping in their strollers outside of shops and restaurants. And why should you travel with Brekke Tours? And first and foremost, we are a full-service Scandinavian specialist with over 60 years of experience in travel within Scandinavia. We travel to our destinations and on our tours so that we can assist our clients with their vacations. Our tours feature destinations you won't find on other tours, and you won't find our tours anywhere else. All of our escorted tours can be customized with side trips to visit areas of heritage. You can add a pre- or post-tour extension, or if we can't make that work, we can create a completely customized travel itinerary just for you. And while on our tours, you won't have to worry about additional expenses for tours or sightseeing activities. What you see on the itinerary is what's included. If you want to add a cruise or combine your tour with a visit to another country, that's not a problem. Our sales staff can help with those arrangements so that you only need one contact person for your entire trip. And finally, when you travel with Brekke Tours, you can be sure that you will be treated as a valued client, not just another body in a seat. Our goal is to make your travel experience meaningful, which means providing you with excellent customer service from the first phone call until you return home from your trip. Now in 2020, Brekke Tours is pleased to offer 14 different tour departures during June, July, and August. If you need help deciding which tour option may be best for you and your traveling companions, I would recommend contacting our office either by phone or email to talk with one of our staff. We can help you narrow down your options based on areas of interest, destinations you would like included, your heritage connections, and more. No matter which escorted tour you decide to join, there are some key points that are included in all of our tours. The first of which, you're getting a good value for your travel budget. Scandinavia can be expensive, but by taking advantage of group discounts, many clients feel that they receive much more than what they paid for. Most of our tours involve a bit of walking each day. With that being said, if you do have mobility issues, please call our office and talk to one of our agents. We can help ease your concerns and make recommendations suited for your activity level. We do allow for free time in larger cities such as Oslo, Bergen, Trondheim, Stockholm, and Copenhagen. Our tours typically start around 8 or 9 a.m., and we try to have you to the hotel no later than 6 or 7 at night. We also offer luggage handling at most hotels, and our tour director will meet you at the arriving airport in Scandinavia and stay with you until you depart the tour. You'll also notice that most of your meals are included in the itinerary. We also try to include special meals such as a farm dinner or at a unique location. And for your comfort, all of our tours are on first-class touring coaches. They'll have large windows, reclining seats, footrests, and even bathrooms on board, so you can sit back and relax while our wonderful bus drivers chauffeur you around in style. And finally, all of our tours can be customized with pre- or post-tour extensions within Scandinavia or beyond. Now, almost all of our tours include visits to Bergen and Oslo, as well as a journey through the fjord country of Norway. In addition, you'll also get to see a state church, one of the iconic symbols of Norway. Another activity that is included is a ride on the famous Flam Railway. It's ranked as one of the top 20 train rides in Europe, and we feel that it's something that every visitor to Norway should experience. Now, while on our escorted tours, you'll meet a variety of people, but in general, these people are from the US and Canada. They have ethnic ties to Scandinavia, and they enjoy learning new things and seeking out new experiences. On tour, you'll meet people that have traveled to other destinations around the world, as well as those experiencing their first trip overseas. And some of the other interests commonly found among our tour participants include history, embroidery, folk music, dancing, singing, hiking, and other outdoor activities. Our tour director will typically meet the group at the arriving airport within Scandinavia and stay with you until you arrive at your departing airport. Our tour directors hail from the US as well as Scandinavia, and English is the only language on our tour. However, they do try to throw in a little bit of the local language throughout, so that those that are inclined can learn some new words and phrases. We also have local guides that will join the group for short periods of time. They are there to provide detailed knowledge about a city, a museum, or historical site. Now, if you're unsure where you will be staying while on tour, not to worry. All the hotels included on our escorted tours are first class or superior tourist class hotels. These hotels are usually found in the heart of major cities, within walking distance to main attractions, so that during your free time, you'll be perfectly located to explore on your own. Now, in the countryside, we tend to use hotels along the fjord or situated in the mountains, which is ideal for hiking and relaxing. Many of the hotels we frequent are historic properties with an interesting history, whether they served as the German headquarters during World War II or were transitioned from a warehouse into a beautiful waterside property. All the hotels used will have private bathrooms with a shower or a tub. You'll also enjoy a Scandinavian breakfast every morning, and some hotels offer additional amenities such as swimming pools and guest laundry facilities, which provides a nice opportunity to freshen up your clothes while traveling. While traveling on our escorted tours, you'll primarily get around by a first-class motor coach. Whether you're on one of our larger buses or the smaller ones, you'll travel in comfort. They all have large windows, reclining seats with footrests, and personal comfort controls for the air conditioner. So you can sit back and let your professional driver get you from point A to point B. We'll also enjoy train rides through magnificent scenery and cruises along the fjords and waters of Scandinavia. Now, to give you an idea of what you can expect during a typical day on a tour, here is a short summary. You'll start with breakfast at the hotel, and then the group typically departs between 8:30 and 9, depending on what is scheduled for that day. We'll include several stops throughout the day for food, bathroom breaks, and activities. And then on board the bus, the tour director will keep the group entertained with information, songs, language lessons, and more. The group will arrive at the hotel in the evening, and usually there is time for a walk, relaxation, or even a swim before dinner. And then before the group goes their separate ways, the tour director will advise of the departure date or departure time for the next day. Now that you know a little bit more about Brekke Tours and your fellow passengers, we'll delve a little deeper into what you will see and experience while on 4 of our escorted tours for 2020. And we'll start with our exclusive tour through the lens, which is a photography tour of Norway. So on this tour, you'll get the opportunity to capture images of beautiful Norway, learn about the Norwegian traditions and history on this unparalleled educational travel experience. And you'll travel with National Geographic explorer Erika Skog. In addition to Erika, you'll also travel with the Vesterheim Norwegian American Museum Development Officer Kirsten Heine, and then our Brekke tour guide Marianne Ropey. She's a Norwegian native and has lived here in the U.S. So she's going to take you on a beautiful tour of Norway. And it's the country and homeland of the late Knut Knutsen, which is a pioneer of Norwegian photography and one of Norway's first professional photographers. So on this tour, you'll start in Bergen and travel across Norway and end in Oslo. On day 1, you'll depart the U.S. and arrive in Bergen the next day. You'll collect your luggage and meet Marianne and transfer to the luxurious Opus 16 hotel. The rest of your day is free. Now that night, you'll meet the others in your group for a ride on the tram, and we'll ascend Mount Fløyen, a not-to-be-missed landmark of Bergen. You'll take in the magnificent city views as you enjoy dinner as a group at the Mount Fløyen restaurant. Now, after a good night's sleep, you'll enjoy a tour of Bergen the next morning. First up is Trollhagen, which is the home of Norway's famous composer Edvard Grieg. You'll learn more about his family and music as you tour his family home of 22 years. Next, you'll walk through the historic Hanseatic Wharf to hear stories of the people that used to live and work in the wooden buildings lining the street. After lunch on own, you'll join Erika for a photography taking excursion around Bergen. And then that night, you'll enjoy dinner at the hotel along with an evening concert. On day 4, you'll spend the morning in Bergen, and then you'll depart for the small town of Voss for dinner and overnight at the historic Fleischers Hotel. Day 5 begins with the famous Norway in a Nutshell excursion. You'll depart Voss by train to Myrdal, and here you'll board the fantastic Flum Railway and descend 2,800 feet within 13 miles, past thundering waterfalls and through 20 tunnels to the Flum Valley. After some time in Flum, we'll cruise the dramatic Ireland and Narray Fjord to Gudvangen. We'll arrive in Gudvangen, and there we'll meet the bus and continue to Nordheimsund, which is nestled along the Hardanger Fjord. And tonight we'll enjoy dinner at the gorgeous Sandven Hotel. And after dinner, we'll have a chance to share some photos with the group. And day 6 begins with a visit to Steindalfossen, which is one of Norway's most famous waterfalls. Then you'll travel to Steinso, a favorite local fruit farm, which is run by a brother and sister team. We'll return to Norheimsen for dinner, an evening photography presentation, and overnight. The next day, we'll depart for Rosendal Barony, which is a beautiful estate dating back to 1658. It has magnificent gardens and fairy tale buildings, so you'll enjoy some time taking photographs of this lovely estate. Then you'll have a group lunch at the estate, and then depart for Loftus and the historic Hotel Ullensvang. On day 8, we'll enjoy an excursion through the Hardanger region, starting with a visit to a wood carver. We'll go to Laudafoss, the Norwegian Museum of Hydropower and Industry, the historic Tyssedal Hotel, and the Tokheim Farm. This is where Knut Knutsen grew up and nurtured his passion for apple trees and apple farming. Now on day 9, you'll continue your adventure through Norway as you visit the Telemark region. You'll travel to the famed Raven's Gorge, one of the most unique natural wonders in Norway. At the top of the mountain gorge, you can send a paper message with a wish or money and have it soar back to you. We'll proceed to Dalen, where you'll have time to shop in some of the town stores and to take photographs. We'll stay at the historic and award-winning Dalen Hotel, and a gourmet dinner in the dining room is scheduled for that night. Day 10 starts with a tour of the West Telemark Museum. It features 30 outdoor buildings, including the oldest stabu in Norway, dating back to 1167. You'll continue to the Hardangervidda National Park Center for lunch and a tour, and afterward proceed to Rjukan for dinner and overnight at the Galstablik Hotel. It has a fantastic view of Galstatoppen, and you'll have a chance to meet with a local silversmith to learn more about the jewelry found on bunads. The next morning, we'll visit Vimwerk, the hydroelectric power plant where Nazis produced heavy water for their atomic bomb experiments during World War II. In the afternoon, we'll drive to Oslo with a stop at the Hedal Stave Church. This is the largest and best preserved stave church in Norway. We'll have dinner and overnight at the historic Holmenkollen Hotel, which is a fairy tale castle overlooking the city. Now, on your last full day in Norway, you'll enjoy a sightseeing tour of Oslo featuring Vigeland Sculpture Park and the Viking Ship Museum. After a farewell dinner, you'll enjoy a final chance to showcase your photography and share some memories of the tour. Then it's time to say goodbye to Norway as we pack up and head to the airport for the flight back home the next morning. Now, some of the experiences you can expect on this unique tour include the chance to travel with National Geographic's explorer and photography expert. You can improve your photography skills in a place of unparalleled beauty and by learning from an expert and others in your group. You'll stay in superior first-class hotels, from a fairy tale castle overlooking the city to Norway's best preserved hotels along a majestic fjord. You'll visit national treasures and places off the beaten path on this 13-day tour. Now, the price for this tour with airfare included from Minneapolis is $58.95 per person, although with the $100 discount we're currently offering, that would be $57.95. So if this would be a tour that would interest you, we invite you to contact our office to learn a little bit more. Now, if you're wanting something with a little bit more adventure in mind, this would be the perfect tour for you, the Land of the Fjords Active Adventure Tour. You'll have the opportunity to hike the famous Pulpit Rock, participate in the Valdres bike event, and enjoy a free day in Flom to enjoy a variety of activities. You'll also have a 3-hour rafting adventure, a cruise along the coast of Norway, and a visit to a family farm. So starting in Oslo, you'll travel through the Valdres Valley to Flom, then on to Bergen before cruising to Stavanger. After you arrive at the Oslo airport and collect your luggage, you'll meet your guide and bus. You'll transfer to the Scandic Victoria Hotel, and the rest of your day is free to walk along the harbor, visit the opera house, or stroll along the shops located in the city center. On day 3, we'll begin with a tour of Vigeland Sculpture Park and the Viking Ship Museum, as well as the Holmenkollen ski jump. And the rest of your day is free to explore on your own. On day 4, we'll depart Oslo and travel to the Valdres Valley, which is the ancestral home of your tour guide. You'll visit his family church and farm, and on the farm you'll enjoy a tour and dinner. And then afterwards, we'll drive to your hotel for the night. On day 5, you'll have a chance to participate in the 33-mile Valdres bike event. The registration isn't quite open for this yet. It will open April 1st, and there are various distances available for different activity levels. So if you're not quite up to that 33-mile race, there are some shorter distances that you may want to participate in. If you choose not to participate, your day is free to hike in the area or simply relax at your hotel. Day 6 brings another chance for adventure as you start the day off with a trip across the Hardanger Plateau to Våringfossen, which plunges 600 feet into the narrow rock basin below. After a tour of the Hardanger Nature Center, you'll head to Voss for a 3-hour rafting adventure. And if you've never been rafting before, not to worry. This adventure is suitable for almost everyone. And after getting dried off, you'll head to Flum for an overnight at the Flum's Brekke Hotel. Now, the next day, you'll have a free day in Flum to enjoy a variety of activities, such as a rib safari, the new Flum zip line. You can hike or bike in the area, and much more. On day 8, we'll depart Flum by the Flum Railway to Voss. And then afterward, we'll drive by motor coach to Bergen for a short tour and overnight at the lovely Clarion Admiral Hotel. You'll have some more time in Bergen on day 9 to explore the historic Hanseatic Wharf or ride the funicular for a grand view of Bergen from up high. And then in the afternoon, we'll board the ferry for a cruise along the coast to Stavanger. Upon arrival, you'll transfer the hotel for an overnight at the Clarion Hotel Stavanger. Now you'll end your time in Norway with an invigorating 3.5-mile hike to Pulpit Rock, which rises nearly 2,000 feet above the Lysefjorden. You'll return to Stavanger in the evening for dinner and overnight at the hotel. And then the next morning, you'll head to the Sola airport for your flight home. The highlights of the lands of the fjords include the various activities, which would be the Valdres bike event, rafting on the Vosel River, and then the hike to Pulpit Rock. But you'll also get some unique experiences, such as visiting your tour guide's family farm, and then his family church as well. So the price for this tour with airfare from Minneapolis is $44.95. And if you would like to join Frode, which is the guide for this tour, on this active adventure, please contact our office. Now the next tour is one that actually encompasses 2 countries. It's the taste of Sweden and Norway. And on this 10-day tour, you'll get a sample of both countries. You'll start in Stockholm, where you'll spend 3 nights in Sweden before crossing the border into Norway. You'll travel through Oslo, Flum, and Bergen in 5 days. On day 1, you'll depart the U.S. on your flight to Sweden, and then upon arrival on day 2, your guide will meet you at the airport and escort you to your hotel, where the rest of your day is free. Now on day 3, we'll start off with a city tour featuring Stockholm City Hall, and you'll learn more about one of Sweden's most famous buildings and one of the capital's most visited tourist attractions. It is famous for its grand ceremonial halls and unique pieces of art, and it's the venue for the Nobel Prize banquet held on December 10th each year. Next, you'll visit the Vasa Ship Museum, which is home to the world's only preserved 17th century warship. And the Vasa Ship Museum offers a look into the ship's construction, sinking, and resurrection. And then your afternoon is free to explore Stockholm's Old Town. So you can wander around the shops and maybe enjoy a little fika, which is afternoon coffee and pastry. And then on day 4, we'll depart Stockholm and drive to Dalarna. This is a popular vacation destination for folks from southern Sweden and is known for its good fishing and deep forest. In Uppsala, we'll tour the famous cathedral, which dates back to the late 13th century, and at a height of 389 feet is the tallest church in the Nordic countries. Then we'll continue to Sundborn, which is the home of Carl Larsson, one of Sweden's most beloved artists. Your hotel for tonight is the lovely Quality Spa and Resort Dalkaria. It's perched up high with fantastic views over the lake, and the hotel offers its guests the chance to relax and unwind in a peaceful setting. The next morning, you'll get to see where Dala horses are made with a visit to the Dala Horse Factory. And then after the tour, we'll continue on to Oslo, driving through the Värmland province en route. And tonight you'll stay in the heart of Oslo at the Grand Hotel. Now day 6 begins with the tour of Oslo featuring Vigeland Park and the Viking Ship Museum. Vigeland Park is the world's largest sculpture park made by a single artist and is a must-see while in Oslo. And the Viking Ship Museum is home to the world's best preserved Viking ships and finds from Viking tombs around the Oslo fjord. The rest of your day is free in Oslo to explore on your own. On day 7, we'll leave Oslo behind and drive through the Valdres Valley to Borgund Stave Church. Along the way, we'll also stop at a farm for a tour and lunch. And then tonight, we'll stay at the Brekke Hotel. The next morning, you'll want to have your camera ready as you set off on the Norway in a Nutshell experience. First, you'll start off with a cruise on the Ireland and Narre Fjord to Gudvangen. Then we'll ride the famous Flum Railway, which is ranked as one of the top 20 train rides in Europe. And then in Myrdal, we'll change to the Oslo-Bergen Railway and continue to Voss, where we'll meet the bus and drive to Bergen. And hopefully when you arrive in Bergen, it looks like this and not like this. So on average, there are 231 days of precipitation in Bergen per year. Thus, you may want to bring your umbrellas. And just remember, as Norwegians say, there is no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing. Now, on your final day in Norway, you'll enjoy a tour of Trolltågen, which was the home of Norway's famous composer Edvard Grieg. Next, you'll walk through the historic Hanseatic Wharf, and then your afternoon is free to shop, sample the wares of the fish market, or ride the funicular to the top of Mount Florian for a view of Bergen. For those that are interested in visiting both Sweden and Norway, this is a great tour option as it covers many of the highlights of both countries, such as Stockholm, Uppsala, Oslo, the Fjord Country, and Bergen. And the price for this tour is $48.95 per person with airfare out of Minneapolis. And our final tour that we're going to talk about today is one of our most encompassing tours of Scandinavia, and this covers Norway, Denmark, and Sweden on a 14-day adventure. So Captivating Scandinavia departs from Minneapolis and then arrives in Bergen. Afterward, you'll travel to Flum and Oslo before cruising to Copenhagen. And then from Denmark, we'll cross into Sweden's Kingdom of Crystal, Gothenburg, and finally Stockholm. Again, you'll depart Norway on day 1 with arrival on day 2. You'll meet your bus and guide at the airport, and then transfer to the Clarion Admiral, where the rest of your day is free. I would suggest getting outdoors in order to reset your body's internal clock to the new time zone. So a visit to the fish market, exploring Hawkins Hall, or simply relaxing at one of the restaurants near the wharf are good ways to spend the afternoon. You'll begin day 3 with the sightseeing tour of Bergen, featuring a visit to Trollhagen and the Hanseatic Wharf, once the main hub of trade between Norway and the continent, going back nearly 1,000 years. On day 4, we'll depart Bergen and drive to Voss, where we'll board the train for a trip on the Flam Railway to Flam. After arriving in Flam, we'll cruise to Ireland and Narrow Fjord to Gudvangen before driving by motor coach to Flam for an overnight at the Flam's Brekke Hotel. And then the next day, we'll proceed to Oslo with stops along the way at Borgen State Church. And day 6 begins with a sightseeing tour of Oslo, featuring Vigeland Sculpture Park and the Viking Ship Museum. And then the rest of your afternoon is free. You'll have some time in the morning of day 7 to explore Oslo on your own, and then we'll transfer to the pier in the afternoon for your overnight cruise to Copenhagen. And you'll get to enjoy this cruise in an outside Commodore-class cabin. We'll wake up the next morning in Copenhagen, and after disembarkation, tour the city's major sites and learn about Copenhagen's colorful history, dating back more than 6,000 years. The first written record regarding Copenhagen dates back to 1043. Now, the reigning queen, Marguerite, can trace her ancestry back to the Viking Age, which makes Denmark the world's oldest kingdom. So lots of history to explore in this city. So the rest of your day is free to shop along Stroget, which is the world's longest shopping street. You can also visit Frederiks Church, Nyhavn, or the Palace. We'll depart Copenhagen on day 9 and drive to Hillerød for a tour of the Frederiksborg Castle. It was built as a royal residence for King Christian IV. The castle is now a museum of national history. And just a little glimpse inside the castle to see what awaits you. After visiting the castle, you'll continue to Vassö in the Kingdom of Crystal. The Kingdom of Crystal is a region of Sweden which contains 15 glassworks dating back to the 18th century. Now, the glassworks have become a part of the culture of Sweden, and examples can be found in many Swedish homes, recognizable by a small sticker at the bottom with the name. We'll overnight in Vassö, and then the next day we'll visit Costa Boda for a Hitzel lunch with traditional food and music before driving to Gothenburg. On day 11, we'll learn about the history of Gothenburg, a port city, with a morning sightseeing cruise through the Dutch-inspired canals. After the tour, your day is free to visit the Volvo Museum, the Fish Church, or the Gothenburg Museum of Art. Day 12 takes us through the Swedish countryside as we travel from Gothenburg to Stockholm, and along the way we'll enjoy music, language lessons, and commentary from your guide. And we'll arrive in Stockholm where the tour will end on day 14. But before we say goodbye, we'll visit the Vasa Ship Museum, the City Hall, and other places of interest on a half-day sightseeing tour. Now, this is a great tour if you want to experience all 3 countries at once. You'll also get to visit Frederiksborg Castle, enjoy a Hitzel lunch at Costa Boda, which is in the Kingdom of Crystal. You'll have some free time in Gothenburg to pick and choose what you wish to see, and you'll have a sightseeing in Gothenburg before traveling to Stockholm. We'll enjoy a tour of the city and a visit to the Vasa Ship Museum. Now, the price for this 14-day tour is $59.95, which includes airfare from Minneapolis. So if you're looking for something a little different than the tours that we just talked about, you may be interested in one of our other 2020 Escort tours. So if this is your first trip to Norway, 2 of our most popular tours, Spectacular Norway and Best of Norway, may be ideal for you. Both itineraries are 11 days and cover the highlights of Norway, such as Oslo, Bergen, Geiranger, Flam, and the famous Norway in a Nutshell experience. Now, depending on your preference to travel south to Stavanger or north to Trondheim may help determine which tour is right for you. Spectacular Norway travels north through Molde or Ålesund before ending in Trondheim, and Best in Norway travels south along the coast to Stavanger after a visit to Bergen. Now, if you wish to experience the very best of Norway and the most, just about all you can see, then our Norway Scenic and Historic Tour may be the perfect option. This is a longer tour at 14 days, but it's our most encompassing tour of Norway. You'll visit historic battlefields, drive along the fantastic Atlantic Ocean Road, and enjoy overnights at charming mountaintop hotels, upscale city hotels, and fjordside hotels. And it's the ultimate Norway adventure. So if you want any information about any of these tours, please contact our office or visit us online, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. So in addition to escorted tours, we also offer a variety of independent travel options, including tour extensions, fjord tours, self-drive tours, adventure tours, and winter travel packages. Our independent travel options can be found online, or if you'd prefer to have a customized itinerary planned just for you, we invite you to give us a call or send us an email. If you do want to spend a little extra time in Scandinavia, you can ask us to arrange a tour extension. So either before or after your escorted tour, we can work with you to create a customized tour package to any of the Scandinavian countries, Russia, and beyond. And we do have quite a few independent packages available as well if you prefer to travel on your own. The always popular Norway in a nutshell, it can be done in 3 or 6 days. You can also customize this package to include additional nights along the way. Our Nordic Delight package includes a visit to the Scandinavian capitals of Oslo, Copenhagen, and Stockholm. You can also choose to add a visit to Helsinki, St. Petersburg, Russia, or a trip through Norway's fjord country. Now, Iceland has become a frequently requested destination in the past few years. And one of the best ways to see this unique country is to rent a car and drive along the ring road which circles the island. This can be done in as little as 9 days. Now, during the wintertime, many people want to travel to Tromsø, which is situated in the heart of the Northern Lights zone, and also offers a variety of fun and adventure. And then those looking for a different type of winter adventure, you have Iceland's Land of Northern Lights. It's a short getaway with visits to South Iceland, which is an ideal location for searching for the Northern Lights. And the nice thing about all of these packages, the planning has already been done, and these itineraries are tried and true. So for any additional independent packages, or if you'd like to request a customized itinerary, you can check those out online. If you do want something that is completely just customized and planned just with you in mind, we do offer customized tours for individuals, couples, families, and groups. We can include all of the arrangements needed, including drivers, guides, and more. Your tailor-made tours based on your interests, areas of heritage, and budget. All it takes to get started is to call or email our office, and one of our staff will be happy to assist you. Some of the groups that we've worked with in the past include church groups, museums, the U.S. Lighthouse Association, choirs and bands in both the U.S. and Norway, dancers, World War II theme tours, architecture, quilting, art and music, agricultural tours, and more. And for those of you that prefer to travel on board a ship, Brekke Tours can also assist you with your travel plans. Whether you choose to explore the coast of Norway on the world's most beautiful voyage, or explore the kingdom of the polar bear, we are happy to help you by providing advice, travel tips, and more. Now, Hurtigrutens Norwegian Coastal Voyage is a very easy way to explore the northern reaches of Norway. They also offer a variety of cruise itineraries featuring Spitsbergen, Iceland and Greenland, Europe, Antarctica, Alaska, and starting in 2021, they're going to offer Norway expedition cruises. Hurtigruten does offer early booking discounts, so if you're considering a cruise for 2020 or even 2021, now is the time to book. And another popular cruise featuring Scandinavia is a Baltic cruise. It visits Germany, Estonia, Russia, Finland, Sweden, and Norway. So it's a great way to get a taste of the Baltic capitals in only 12 days. For more information about any of these cruises, or if you'd like to explore further cruise options, please feel free to contact our office. So now it's time to answer some of those travel questions that you guys submitted on the registration form. So the first question is, what should I pack? And that's probably our number one question too. So I always recommend bringing clothes that you can layer. Casual clothing is the norm for our escorted tours, and you'll want to bring good walking shoes. You also want to bring a jacket and perhaps a raincoat. Other things you may want to pack include an umbrella or poncho, snacks, medications, including over-the-counter medication like aspirin. You also want to bring sunscreen and a small day pack where you can store sweaters, a water bottle, and your snacks. Another question that we get, and we got again today, is when is the best time to visit Scandinavia? And this is really a tough question to answer because it's all depending upon your personal preference. If you would like to travel during the warmest months, then June through August would be appropriate. You can expect temperatures in the 60s and 70s in lower regions of Scandinavia, and the 50s and 60s in the upper regions. Now, if you'd like to avoid the crowds, you may wish to travel in May or September, as the weather is still nice, but there are fewer visitors. And if you want to see the northern lights, you want to travel between November and March, so you'll have to go during the winter. You may also want to plan your trip north of the Arctic Circle for the best chance to see the lights. Now, how much walking is required? A typical day on an escorted tour will have 2 to 3 hours of walking, but it's broken up over the day. So at some stops, you may only have a 5-minute walk, and others maybe 10 to 15. For those with mobility issues, you always have a choice of whether you want to participate or not. If you do have any questions, I would really suggest calling our office and talking to with one of our staff. We can kind of give you some more guidelines based on your mobility. And then the number of people on tour. So the number of people traveling together on one of our escorted tours can vary, but typically you can expect 30 or more on our more popular tours, and about 20 to 25 are some of our more out-of-the-way tours. We do only operate one bus, though, so at most you would travel would be around 40 people on board. And we'll have free time while on tour. All of our tours do include a bit of free time so that you'll have the opportunity to pursue your own interests while in Scandinavia. Many people take this time to explore art museums, go shopping, or visit with friends and relatives in the area. If additional time is needed for a particular visit, we can make those arrangements with you before departing the U.S. Now, can I add extra days to an escorted tour? Yes. If you'd like to spend a little bit more time, we are happy to help you with these plans. From just adding an extra hotel night to booking an extended stay or figuring out how to get you from point A to point B, that's what we're all about. So we are happy to help you with that. And our flights from Canada available. So if you do live outside the Minneapolis area and wish to join one of our tours, not to worry. We can provide you with flight options from your home city. So whether you live on the East Coast, Canada, or even Alaska, we are happy to send you a quote and help you with those flight arrangements. So I'll open it up now for any other questions that you may have. If you want to send those in the bottom right-hand corner, please feel free to do that. If I've answered all your questions, then great, I did a good job. So I'm going to throw the special offer back up on the screen so you can take a look at that. But like I said before, you don't have to worry about writing it down or anything because I will include that in my email to you all a little bit later today when I send out the copy of the live presentation. So if we don't have any questions, no questions, that's great. So if you do think of something later, you are always welcome to give us a call. There's our 800 number, or you can send us an email. So, oh, we do have a question. Came in. Oh, we have somebody asking about a World War related tour for 2021. I don't know of one at this time, but that is something that can certainly change with one phone call from somebody that wants to do that. So um, we have done some in the past before with a professor that wanted to organize that, and we may actually have something like that, um, coming up again. But I don't know that it will actually happen or not. But if you are interested in World War II, um, the our scenic and historic tour would probably be our best option just for a general tour, because we do visit some World War II sites on that tour, and there's a lot of history that you'll get to experience that's connected to World War II on that tour as it is. So if a World War II specific tour doesn't happen in 2021, then our scenic and historic tour would be my recommendation for something that would maybe work. So if we don't have any other questions, I will let you all go, because I'm sure you probably have last minute shopping or things like that to do right before Christmas. So thank you all again for joining us today. I will leave you looking out over Flum. You can see the lovely Fleischers Hotel back there in the distance. I wish you all a Merry Christmas. We hope to see you in Scandinavia next summer. Thank you so much again, and have a wonderful day.